Please welcome Chaz and her mom, Jeanette, to the show. Hi, honey. How are you? Good to see you. Sit, relax. I think you're here. Well, I gotta say, I love this documentary. When you thought of doing it, did they approach you, Mom, Jeanette?
They did. We weren't looking to make a film. We're just a regular family, ordinary family, and when they approached us, we had to think about it a long time.
And how about you, Chaz? When they told you they want to make a movie about you, what did you think?
I was really excited because I want to share my story with the world so they can understand how it is to be transgender.
Now, when did you first realize that you were a girl? Do you remember the first time in your mind that you thought, this is who I am?
Ever since I was born, I just felt like a girl, and it's just who I am.
Do you remember, Mom, the first time that you thought maybe there's something different?
Yeah, from the moment she could express herself or speak, she was gravitating towards all girl things. She was in diapers, like 15 months old, and putting on high heels from her sister's dress-up cabinet. So
now, maybe a parent would think, okay, well, this maybe is going to be a gay child, maybe this is, what made you think it was a gender identity issue?
Gender identity disorder, which I found out when she was very young, is somebody who's trapped in the wrong body, and they're saying, I am a girl. Not, I like to do girl things, or I like to play with girl things. I am a girl. There's something wrong. God made a mistake. Please, I want a vagina, not a penis. Kids don't say that kind of stuff when they're 2 years old unless there's something off. And I did a lot of research and, found out that she had gender identity disorder, and she was 3 when she got diagnosed.
3 years old. Do you remember, like I read a story in the research that said that you had a dream that the tooth fairy came to your room?
It was this magic fairy person in my dream.
And how old were you, baby?
2.
2.
And in my dreams, she said that she was going to change my penis into a vagina. So when I woke up that morning, all happy, I went to my mom and I told her, when is the good fairy going to come and change my penis into a vagina? And that's when she understood that there was something happening with me.
When did you start dressing and living as a girl, Chaz?
By the age of 5, I was like a girl. I wore girl clothes. I was treated like a girl.
And you had to make that decision, Mom, because a 5-year-old doesn't get to decide how they're sort of presented in society. It's the parents' decision. And was it a tough decision for you?
It was very difficult. And as a family, we came together and discussed it. The child was suffering. She was suffering. And knowing that the suicide rates are so high for children with gender identity disorder, there is more than a 40% chance they'll try to kill themselves. So to me, gender identity disorder is a killer. And do I want to have a child who's depressed and suicidal? So we struggled with it, but we knew that we had to let her be true to herself. She wanted to be a girl, and we needed to allow her to do that.
When you say she was suffering, how did you notice that? What were the instances?
She was getting more and more depressed. She would fight. Every time we had to leave the house, she would fight and cry and scream, please, don't make me go out in these boy clothes. I can't go to school. I mean, this is a baby in preschool. Basically not wanting to go anywhere unless she was true to herself and looked the way she wanted to. And very upset at a dance concert. She couldn't wear a tutu like the other girls, and I have it on film. The look on her face, she was devastated.
And Chaz, do you remember that? You're 11 now, so it's probably hard to remember being 5, but do you remember what it felt like when Mom and Dad thought you should, wear the boys' clothes and how it felt?
Yes, it was kind of hard for me because I didn't want to be a boy. Being a girl is more comfortable for me, and that's who I wanted to be. And I'm so glad that I have amazing parents, and I'm a girl now.
You do have amazing parents. I'm glad you realized that, because a lot of parents would have a very hard time with this concept, right? And Mom, did you face a lot of criticism from family members or friends?
Yes. A lot of people, it did not sit well with them. Behind your back, they're always saying stuff to your face. They're like, oh, okay. But behind your back, there's whispers. And she's also very lucky that she has 2 brothers and an older sister that were so supportive, and they were around kind of, keeping the other kids away from her. Right. Saying, you couldn't say anything about my sister. I don't want you saying that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, and in the documentary, the siblings are featured. It's really very beautiful to see how loving and supportive they are, Do you remember getting teased, babe?
A little bit when I went to preschool, and all my preschool friends were there, and they knew me as a boy, not a girl. And they started making fun of me, and they're like, why are you a girl now? And it wasn't good.
Now, she's entering puberty, so the male stuff that happens at puberty, you have to make a decision now what to do medically to make sure that that doesn't occur. And that's a very difficult thing for parents, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to put hormone blockers in your child's body, you know, it's considered experimental for transgender kids, but they do it all the time for kids with precocious puberty. But to have to do this is a difficult decision, but I don't want to have a child who's depressed and suicidal. And also, a lot of people don't understand the cost of this is astronomical. It's $18,000 a year for her to have the blocker so that she won't develop like a boy.
Do you having to have that discussion with mom and dad about whether or not to take these hormones? And
Even today we're talking about it, and we've decided that we probably should, because a girl is who I want to be. Like, I always say that, because
And are you afraid of developing the traditional masculine traits of facial hair?
Yeah, when I was younger, I had nightmares about getting mustaches and beards, and would go to my mom. I had a nightmare of growing hair everywhere. And
Did you watch Dancing with the Stars this season?
Uh-huh.
Did you see Chaz on there?
Yeah, he's kind of like my hero, because he's really brave to come out with his story, and yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called him up and asked him if he wanted to meet you, and he said he did, so he came here today.
Really?
Yeah, here he is. Say hi to Chaz Bono right here. Right here, anywhere there. Go ahead. So what do you think, Chaz? Brave little girl, huh?
Unbelievable, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For you, what would it have been like to have somebody like you on TV when you were 11 years old?
I mean, that's part of why I do what I do, because I think it would have made my life so much easier. My life, I look, and I work with a lot of kids your age, and I do it because, they can have these amazing lives that I had to wait 40 years to have.
Right.
So, if I can help somebody who's feeling this way know that there are options out there and that they can, they can live their life the way they want to, then I'm doing my job.
How about how much has changed in the 30 years since you were 11 years old, right?
Oh my God, crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That there would be parents who were astute enough to understand that this was not just a little boy who thought about being a girl, who actually was a girl.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even feel like I could talk about it. So, and I didn't even know that I could grow up and become a man. I didn't even know, such things were possible. Nowadays, and especially with the hormone blockers, these kids that are figuring this out young, and parents that are supporting them, are not going to have to go through the surgeries and the procedures and everything that we had to go through to try to reverse what, biology did to us. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy you're here. I think you're an amazing mom, and your husband as well, and your other children. Tell them I think they're a wonderful example of what family unconditional love is about. And Jazz, you rock, little girl.
Thank you.
You really do. We're going to take a break, come back, and chat with Chaz about what's been going on in his life. Don't go away.